Okay, welcome back, physics fans. Here we are talking about my website, the tryit.ca. The tryit.ca is a domain that I bought, and it's being hosted in Vancouver, so it's following all the regulations that the school board wants of having your stuff stored on Canadian soil. That's a BC law, so there it is right here in Vancouver. And it's my server, and I run it, and it's running a software called Moodle. So if you go to tryit.ca, it's going to ask you to log in. This is only mine. No one else gets onto it. No other teacher in the world gets onto here. And if it's your first time here, you're going to create a new account, and it's going to ask you for your username. This is what you're going to use to log in, your username. So make it something that you're going to remember, and a password that has to have at least 6 characters, and one of them has to be a number. Okay, and then remember it, and if not, it's going to email you back. You have to put your email address in here twice. Make sure it's your Learn68 or something that you're going to check. Okay, make sure that it works. Your first name and last name, it's right here on my server, so put your first name and last name because it's going to be quizzes on here, and you don't want quizzes to go to funny guy. Okay, and Nanaimo, you can put your, if you're international, you can put your other ones in there besides Nanaimo, but you can just leave it in Nanaimo or Ladysmith if you want. And Canada, create your account. It's going to email you. You go to your email and confirm who you are, and it'll bring you back. Once you log on, you will see, of course, 4 courses. There's only one here for youth, the Physics 12s. And then when you click on it, it will, well, at least for me, bring me into the course. But if you've never been in the course before, it will ask you for an enrollment key. Enrollment key. And you only have to answer it once. And the enrollment key is blue. Okay, and you only have to use it once, and then you'll always be able to access into the Physics 12. Please don't join any of my other classes in case you ever find out what the passwords are. Don't do it. And it might start with this showing up, but you probably don't want to see all the menus and stuff like that. You can do it. That just toggles that on and off. You'll see that there is a lot here that's hidden from the students right now because it's all ready to go. So we could take like in circular motion here and open that up. You can see what's going to be hidden from you and eventually opened up. There's lessons. There's a YouTube video here and another YouTube video here. There's more PDFs. I'm just basically looking at the logo here that's saying it's a PDF, and this says it's a YouTube lesson going to my YouTube crash course physics and stuff like that. There's quizzes on here. Now, these quizzes are in such a way that, oh my goodness, this one's been attempted 143 times. But the grading method for the quizzes is highest grade. So if you take it 6 times and twice you got perfect, then you get perfect on it. And there are lots of quizzes. Okay, there are 2 quizzes here right now, but that might increase. There's 3 quizzes here. That will definitely increase. I'll put a lot more quizzes in there. But once we get going into forces, there's 6 quizzes here. There's 8 quizzes in momentum and 6 quizzes here. So there's a lot of online quizzes, and I called them mastery quizzes. Why? Because you take them over and over until you get 100%. Okay? I want you to do them over and over until you get 100%. And you could stop at that point, but they're mastery, so you can keep going on them. So you do them when they're assigned. And I also want you to do them again just before the test. Okay, the tests are going to be in here, not online, but you can do them over and over again. No issues. You don't have to do them, but they are worth 20% of the mark. And honestly, as a teacher here, I expect everyone here to have 100% on it. It's free marks. Okay, it's not really free. You have to still do it. But why do I do that? Number one, I want you to do questions. I want them online. I got going on this quite a bit during the COVID when we were away, and I wanted to stop people from cheating. Well, why do people want to cheat? They want to get 100%. Well, if I guarantee you get 100% as long as you keep trying over and over, that's pretty close to stopping you from cheating. There were a few people that still did it, still cheated. This is a university level software that's up on servers. It has a lot of methodology of finding out who's who and who's cheating and how they're doing it. I'm not going to tell you, but you know, all the regular ways. I could tell if it's not you doing it. But I'm giving you an option to get 100% on it. Just try it. If it's wrong, figure out what you did wrong. If you can't figure it out, then email me. Talk to me the next day. There are times where I do it over when kids do it and they can't get the answer. They email me. I can't do it. And even though I've tried it 5 times, I'll record a video. So some of those up there, you'll see Mr. Curl's version of doing the online. So someone said that they couldn't do it. I did the online, recorded it, and said, this is how you do it. So basically, I'm telling you the formulas, and this is where you plug the numbers in, and this is how you get the answer. And then, so it's really easy. All you have to do is do the exact same thing. So sometimes up on Moodle, it's quiz 6, and then right underneath it, Mr. Curl's version, Mr. Curl doing a video of doing quiz 6. So it really, I want you to be able to practice it until you can not do them wrong. That's why I call them mastery. It's just kind of like a layup in basketball. You don't want to just do it once and then say, yeah, I can do it. You want to do it until you cannot not do it. You want to do it so that without thinking, you can do it. So some of these times, some of these tricky things that I do is I take these mastery questions and give them to you as quizzes, written down in class where you have to show me your work. So it's a little bit different. You have to show your work on these ones. And what do they look like? Well, let's just show you. I'll take a quiz for you right now. I'll guess and I'll get it wrong. So let's go back. Let's do circular motion. Why not? We'll be there in a month and a half. And here we go. Here's Mr. Curl doing quiz. So I have just a YouTube video of Mr. Curl doing it. So let's just not even show that question. Here's quiz number 4. Load it up. 59 attempts on this so far, not in this class. And continue the last attempt. Oh, I was showing someone else. So that's another thing. You can quit out of the quiz and then come back in the next day and continue on. It just shows to me that you've taken like a month to do it or an hour a day to do it. So there's 3 questions here. And basically, if you're observing, it's the exact same question over and over. It's the same numbers, 2.7, 2.7. So it's basically, here we go. 2.7 kilogram mass is spun in a vertical circle at the end of a 0.85 meter long string. At the top of the swing, the cord tension is 11 newtons. Determine the weight of the mass. And then determine the centripetal force acting on the mass. And then determine the speed of the mass at the bottom of the loop. Okay, so it's 12 and 14 and 16. I guarantee you they're wrong. I just guessed. And when it says finish attempt, the answers are saved. You could just close the browser or go on and you could continue to send it, but I don't know why. You can try it over and over and over again. Submit it, see if you're right. Submit it. And you're wrong. The answer was 26.46. And notice that it says plus or minus 0.26. So basically, you could have had 26.6, 26.7, or all the way down to 26.2. I'm giving a 1% error. That's 1% of this number. So basically, I give you a range that makes it correct. Just in case you're only carrying 3 sig figs through your answers and stuff like that, you can do it. And this one is not set up properly. Look at all that, all those wrong sig figs. But don't matter. The answer here is 3.43. And if you answered 3.4, you would still got it right. Okay, and then you can go back and retry it and finish the review. Any questions? 59 attempts. My first attempt was 0 to 6. And I finished it there, and I could review my attempt. And you'll have lots of attempts. And I expect some of them are going to be 6 out of 6. 6 out of 6 doesn't mean that you stop, but maybe that's good enough for today and come back. Other things here, you'll go back to Physics 12, and you'll see the whole course set up. There's external links. External links, go to Jupiter Grades. I use that as my marks book. I'll be sending out a handout so that you could log on in the next couple days so you can see where the marks are. Our Dover Bay website, and also my YouTube website. I have like 200 or 300 videos, and I keep on putting up more and more up on YouTube all the time. And so that's a quick shortcut to it. The best thing for you now is your quick link to your marks. This will show all the quizzes that we have and the marks that you'll be getting on them. Okay, and then you can see which ones you're missing. Because sometimes after you stare at a page for a while, maybe you're in momentum and you see that there's 8 quizzes in there, you might not see where all the quizzes are. There's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, worksheet. You might have missed that there's 4 quizzes there. Okay, and then there's a few more quizzes down here. You might miss the quizzes, so use your quiz marks to see which ones you're missing or which ones you didn't get perfect on. Okay, and then your profile, in case you want to put a nice picture into your profile. There's Naomi, already has a beautiful picture in here. I don't know what it is, I won't click on it, but those are the people that have logged on in the last 240 minutes and hours. 4 hours, I'll help you. Okay, so that's what the Moodle is all about. You'll see lots of things added in here, handouts and answers to the handouts and links to my YouTube where I'm going over questions. So it is your one-stop place to go and check. And if you're going to be missing some classes because of COVID, that's the place to go to. You'll see the links of what we're doing. Check with an email. I'll tell you what to do off of the YouTube. Learnit.ca is a quick link to my YouTube channel. Okay, so if you type in learnit.ca, okay, you're just on the ferry and you want to actually just listen to my lovely voice, there you go. I have uploads of my 3D animation stuff that I put in a couple weeks ago. There's Physics 12 questions, there's Physics 11 questions, so you can go into Physics 12 and rocket science, circular motion. There's a lot of different things here, and find out the lessons. Maybe this week my challenge for you guys, for me, will be to sort these out in chapters order, because it starts chapter 3.1 here, and I'll organize it and rename them so that they're all proper, so that it sorts them all out. There's chapter 4, energy, electricity, lots of stuff. Okay, YouTube channel, and they all start nice and neat. Anyhow, I'll stop that. My YouTube channel. Let's see what else is necessary for me to talk about now. I don't think so. Try it, learn it, Jupiter Grades. Now, on the tryit.ca, let's go to where we are right now. You'll log on, and the only thing you'll have access is the intro. There's 5 quizzes in here already. Is there? Wow. So this is a read here that you should probably take a look at some point, what sig figs are and stuff like that, all taught in Physics 11 and scientific notation, okay, but not assigned. There's a formula sheet. I'm going to hand that out to you tomorrow, formula sheet, okay? How to determine formulas, we just did that. There's the solutions, went over that. And there's 18-mark quiz here that you can do over and over and over again, and it's doing questions like determining your formula. They're all one-step kinematics. So yeah, 18 marks. You have to do 9 questions. I think each one's worth 2 questions. So you have to do 9 questions. You do one wrong, then you have to do all 9 again. Okay. There's a kinematics review, the traffic light story. That's what you just have right now. I just handed out. I'm going to go over. And then there's 2 quizzes for doing a traffic light story. So again, this is what we're going to go over right now. There are 2 quizzes that quiz your knowledge of this, Physics 11 stuff. Okay? And then there's another worksheet coming out tomorrow, or might hand it out overnight. The solutions for it are already there, and just some more kinematic questions, some accelerated motion extra questions here. So there's a lot of quizzes up here already for you to get 100% on. And then Here's quiz number 5, scalar versus vector. This is going to be your nemesis. Okay, what do you mean, nemesis? That's going to be your bad dreams, where bad dreams come from, right from here. Let's show you what the quiz looks like. Maybe we'll even start answering some of them. And we've already did a couple questions, like, can you be traveling at a constant speed but accelerate? A person makes a round-trip journey, finished where she started. The displacement for the trip is 0, and the distance is some non-zero value. True or false? I'm dropping the course. True. Yes. The displacement is 0 because you're back at where you began, and that is true. Check it. Correct. And it explains it. Next page. And notice there's 26 of these painful ones. It's going to be, and I am not going to count it if you don't want me to count this one. But man, this sharpens you up, ready for getting into physics 12 about what a vector is. It's just like acceleration is a vector, true or false. Yeah, things like that. Here we go. A person starts at position A and finishes at position B. Yeah. The distance for the trip is the length of the segment measured from A to B. It's asking what the distance is. You you started here, you ended there. The straight line segment from A to B, is that the distance? That's the displacement. If you went this way, your odometer on your car would have been a lot higher, and that'd be the distance traveled, but it's definitely not your displacement. That's why you already hate me. The answer is already false. We're only on the second question of 26. And let's take a look at 24 looks like. I know you hate me already. The phrase 20 miles northwest likely describes the distance for a motion. That's false. That's a displacement, not a distance. See, the title of this quiz was Scalar versus Vector, understanding what the difference between a scalar is and a vector is. So if you don't want to attempt number 5, or if you attempt number 5 and can't get perfect on it, I won't take those marks. But if you get perfect on it, I'll give it to you. And unfortunately, this quiz can't change every time you take it. If there's no numbers on it. It's a concept one, so you'll get the exact same question, no differences. So if you remember that answer, that'll be that answer every time. So if you're going to do it over and over again, don't do it every day because you'll memorize them all. And that's okay. And it'll sharpen you for some of those tricky questions. Yes. I will assign them. The online ones, I'll assign them. And then when I assign them, I put them on to Jupyter grades. So when you take a look at your Jupyter grades and they're blank, blank doesn't take marks away, but eventually I'm going to put a 0 there when you don't have them done. So yeah. Yes. There's nothing wrong with going ahead and doing the quizzes. I've hidden the chapters ahead enough so that you don't race through the whole course. Okay? Like I know some of you might doubt it, but once I open up a chapter, go ahead and do all the quizzes if you want. Even if you get 0 on them, there's nothing wrong. In fact, some people might even go, "Oh, I'm going to look at that quiz. I'll guess 2. Copy the question down. I'm ready for when Mr. Curl teaches it. I know this is an online one that I have to do." Then when Mr. Curl teaches it, there's the online. Now I'm ready to go home or to stay here. I love it. In 2 weeks ago, I was awarded through my hardship 16 Chromebooks. So we got 16 brand new, barely used Chromebooks. Barely used because they used them last week for the invigilation of tests in here. And that's it. So they're ready to, I think they're almost ready to go. I mean, I've charged them all up, I've labeled them and everything like that. So we got 16 Chromebooks. They can go watch my YouTube videos and go to the tryit.ca. And there are some labs that are online as well, digital labs, which are kind of interesting, kind of fun. And it's good because then you can change gravity, where you can't do that in the class usually. Okay, any questions? So where does that leave us? Let's go do the traffic light one. So let me just go grab that sheet. And again, I didn't save my quiz there, but there's some ways that you can save the quiz if you don't finished. I get to see how long it took you. So if it looks like Alan took like 3 days to answer a quiz, or better yet, it took 1 minute to do a quiz, I'll go, that's amazing. How did you do it in 1 minute? Okay, here's the traffic light story. It does a little pop-up when you click on it. Or did I click on it? Or did I just drag on it? There you go, I didn't click on it. Thank you. Download Adobe, no thank you. Okay, anyways, I'll stop this video. Just go ahead and we'll work on these questions right now.